Now, once we have done this, then we have a little rest stop. And I think after 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, you do need a rest. To return home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour.
Now, he didn't say 63 days. 1 hour.
1 hour. Carefully reading, reviewing what we have done. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know Him better. Taking this book down from our shelves, we turn to the pages that contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch to which we shall walk a free man at last. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement, putting the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? And again, we see him using the same little picture he's been painting since the beginning. When he said willingness was the foundation, then he said believing was the cornerstone. Then he told us in step 3 we were building an arch. And step 3 was the keystone of that arch. So now he says go back and review that arch again, put in 4 and put in 5. And then we can review and say that this work is satisfactory. Then we can look at step 6.
Now let's look at 6 and 7, and then we'll take a break. If we can answer to satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We've emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Are we now ready to let God remove from us all the things which we have admitted are objectionable? Can He now take them all, every one? If we still cling to something we will not let go, we ask God to help us be willing. Now that's all of step 6. And if you'll notice, he did not say defects of character in there. The step talks about defects of character, but here in the narrative he didn't even mention defects. He said, those things which we have admitted are objectionable. Now surely by now, through step 4 and 5, we've been able to see that old selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, frightened, and inconsiderate character sitting out there in column 4 on all these inventory sheets. And if we can see where that old personality is what's created our problems for us, then surely those traits have now become objectionable to us. Because if we stay selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, frightened, inconsiderate, we don't stand a chance of any peace of mind. Now, are we ready to let God remove those things from us? If we're not willing, we ask God to help us be willing. And the book recognizes in every step, self cannot overcome self. Let's face it, some of these character defects are fun. Some of them we really don't want to turn loose of them. And the only reason we're going to turn loose of them sometimes is because we absolutely have to. If you have never known anything but selfishness and dishonesty and fear my God, how are you going to live without that? Those of us that have never been unselfish before, then our fear is how are we going to get what we want if we become unselfish? If you've lived dishonest all your life, how in the hell are you going to make a living honestly? If you've always used fear to justify, how are you going to live without that? If you've never considered what other people want and need, what would life be under those conditions? Sometimes human beings would rather sit and suffer in today's pain rather than take a chance on something new in the future. Because we know what today's pain is, we don't know what the future will bring. And some of us would rather stay the way we are than take a chance on changing. I told my sponsor, I said, I don't believe I can take steps 6 and 7. He said, why? I said, if God takes away all my character defects, I won't have any personality left at all. And he said, you're just about 100% right. But he said, what you don't know is that if they are removed, they will be replaced with something better. And life will be better, but you don't know that because you've never experienced that. He said, you got to take a chance. And he said, if you're not willing to turn loose of these things, you ask God to help you be willing to turn loose of them, and eventually the willingness will come. Now, when ready, we say something like this. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character. Whoop! Defect of character is a step 6 thing. I'm dealing with step 7 now. Step 7 said shortcomings. Here he didn't mention shortcomings. He said defects of character. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands away of my useful to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. We then completed step 7. Bang, bang. Step 6, you become ready to get rid of that stuff. Step 7, you ask God to take it away.